Design always better if it's personal. This is Alexander McQueen, and in 2001, at this point of his life, he is struggling. He's dealing with addiction, and he's working under impossible pressure. He is being criticized by people in the industry who, in his view, do not understand the demands of being a designer at his level. And then he creates Voss, his show from 2001. Now, this isn't just a fashion show, it's performance art. So critics, the public, they walk into this space, and in front of them is a mirrored cube. And for the first 2 hours, they can't see inside. All they can see is their own reflection. And then the show starts. The lights illuminate from inside the cube and the models start walking out. And from the models' point of view, they're walking out, but they cannot see the crowd. Now the models can only see themselves. McQueen is trying to say that he is trying to concentrate on his work and he is being judged, he's being seen by critics that he cannot see. And you can see by the way that the models are acting, they are deranged, erratic, they feel like they're tortured. All of this is stage direction from McQueen. And he's obviously trying to say that all this pressure is driving him crazy. And all the clothes are beautiful. Some of the clothes combine the natural and the unnatural. There's a dress made out of feathers on one end, and as it comes up, it's made out of microscopy slides. And finally, it ends with the cube in the middle falling open. And what you see is a central, large, obese figure. And the symbolism here is not exactly vague. McQueen here is responding to the criticisms at his own appearance. Not long before this show, he had a liposuction. And all of this, Voss, is McQueen pouring his personal life into his work. And it's so powerful that 20 years on, me, in a different continent, I have a fairly accurate idea of what's going on in his head. And I can't pretend to know the expectations that he was under. But I do know what it's like to be creative, to be alone, feel expectation. Like, we all understand those things. And this show, although they address feelings and emotions that are messy, embarrassing, they can make people feel less alone. So I've never really told this story before. But this is a shirt that an ex-girlfriend gave me. For a long time I couldn't look at it. It reminded me of how things ended and how things were complicated. When I wore it when we were together, it really captured this rush of summer. The way that everything feels lighter and brighter. And now for the first time, for this summer, I want to channel all those positive things about that time into a design. This is the most personal design I've ever made. So this is it. It's made out of vintage dead stock fabric. I thought it would make sense to use vintage fabric for a vintage design. It retains that 70s pointed collar, so that heavy weighted fabric gives a lot of drape. Like, you may not have had an ex-girlfriend give you a 70s disco shirt, but you have probably felt the optimism of flying. And that's ultimately what I want to evoke. Not just my story, but hopefully maybe this shirt can be part of yours.